There are only 3 cars left in this derby. Arthur Fonzarelli in car number 6 against the dreaded Malachi brothers.
All right, the AFC East is been controlled with pretty much an iron fist by the Bills for a few seasons now. But season after season, things change. Now, the Bills, they got Allen, they got a load of talent. They're the defending champs. My Dolphins have gotten better. O'Brien's gone to the Patriots. They were a tough team last year. They're going to have a whole bunch of picks. And then you might have Rodgers go to the Jets and more picks over there. It's not going to be easy for anybody to take this division, much less even the Bills. But the key for me, what I've been saying for years now, is what I've always wondered. And then after it became a fact, what I hope for Allen and Bills fans was an adjustment in the philosophy and how they use Allen. It's been dial it up to 11 with Allen. Allen save us. Fun ball extraordinaire. Allen, we're in trouble. Get us out of this problem. And you know what? He's done it, and he's done it. But there has been obviously a ceiling to that philosophy. I've said if you get diversities of looks, get him in shotgun and on the center, you run the football with the running backs and not Allen, you get legitimate play action. This stuff is going to get Allen to maybe not be such a huge percentage of the actual touches on the offense, but his production and effectiveness will skyrocket. And from what I've heard from Allen and McDermott, it does appear this might be the season that it finally changes. Now, you don't get a quarterback and an HC saying something kind of in tandem, and it's just like, oh, by accident, or it's not really meant to come out. These guys, they have people telling them what not to say, what to say. They talk about what to say and what not to say. They think about what to say and what not to say. So I truly believe this might be the season where you're going to see the best of Allen because he'll have the best philosophy. Now, he's going to need some good picks in his draft to kind of boost some of the talent, but the philosophy is the key thing. And so this is great news for Bills fans, but maybe not such great news for the teams that want to beat him because it's going to be harder to beat the Bills if this philosophy that we've seen in the past has changed. So anyway, I'm going to go over the quotes, kind of go over what I'm seeing from it and how it's just really obvious that this philosophy is a bad one, not in totality, but in the magnitude of what's being delivered. So I want to say thanks for stopping by as Bills fans. I know I'm a bad Dolphins fan, but I do try to cover you honestly. I do like Allen, and I do love the game of football, and I want to do right by you, so I try my best to be fair. So I want to give you a shout-out. Shout-out to A-Spread, my sponsor, because without you, without them, this show ain't going down. Ace-Per-Head's betting software is the premier white-label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, so here is McDermott's comment. This is the first one I saw. Josh Allen's was the second. I don't know if we'll ever stop this conversation, right? It's Josh Allen's style of play and his personality, his competitive nature. But the style of play needs to continue to evolve, McDermott said at an annual league meeting in March. I think that we'll chip away at some of those unnecessary hits and we'll be left with, hopefully, the goal is left with the ones that come up through the course of doing the job because it's important that he's healthy. But the mobile quarterbacks I've been around, that's an ongoing conversation for pretty much their whole career. And I want to focus on the chipping away of unnecessary hits. And that does start with the coaching staff. Obviously, Allen's got to be smarter. But the staff sets the table. They're the ones that creates the menu. They create the whole philosophy and the concept. And they're the one that got to tell him, dude, you don't do that. Don't do this. Think about it. And his job is then to respond. But he's been raised under Allen or bust, and it's part of his nature. So really, it always falls back to the staff. So the staff has got to be the first ones to mitigate what we've seen, and I think they're going to. And then it will be up to Allen to do that. But the good news is, see here, Allen said this, I can't continue to do this. I know when I'm using my youth, I feel like I can, but over the course of my career, I'm going to have to learn to adapt and change, Allen said, who turns 27 in May. when the point comes, I don't know. I guess I'll let my body tell me. But I do want to be, like I said, I want to be the smartest quarterback with the football in my hands. I don't want to put the ball in harm's way. So there's two things. He's talking about his body, and then he's talking about putting the ball in harm's way. Well, he has some really bonehead picks. He had some bonehead fumbles. But when your body is getting smashed over and over through the course of a drive, through the course of a game, through the course of a season, and you look at the numbers of what he puts up, your mental alacrity, your fortitude of your brain gets foggy, and then your body gets weak, and they both go in tandem for you to make dumb plays. The first play of the game, you're fresh, you think clearest. But when you start getting your bell rung and you're tired and you're running and throwing, things get foggy and you have a higher tendency to make mistakes. This is about the staff setting the table. I mean, look at this. You can see this image here. 2018, 144 hits. 2019, 171 hits. 2020, 156. 2021, 201. 2022, 178 with one less game. That's 850 hits over 6 years. Counting all the times he's diving out and falling on the ground. That is way too much for a human body to take, even one that is ridiculous like Allen's. And when that body breaks and you start getting the injuries, it's really hard to get away from him. And if this guy gets hurt really bad, it's going to change a lot and it's going to waste a very good career. The number of hits he takes is ridiculous. Look at Steve Young. He used to run all the time, took a lot of hits, but then Walsh understood, hey, look, this guy's a great runner. Let's mitigate that. Let's throw the ball a little shorter. They had the West Coast offense. You had Craig. Let's run the football. Let's create. And Young himself had to realize, hey, man, I'm getting my bell rung. I'm getting hurt. Let me slide and be smart. But it started with Walsh, and then it was kind of put into its final frame by the quarterback. And that has to be what happens here. Now, my Dolphins, I'm going to talk just about them. We had 3 games, and we lost 2, and you won 2. But all those games, I think, were separated by, 8 points? I mean, you can see here, first game in the volcano. Allen, 400 through the air, 47 on the ground. He was the rush leader. Then up in Buffalo, you guys won that one, but 304 through the air, 77 on the ground. He was the rush leader. And then the wild card, he had 3.1 another nail biter, 352 in the air, and then 48 on the ground through Singletary. So he wasn't the leading rusher, but he was pressured 48.2% of the time or something like that, and he was sacked 7 times. So clearly, this philosophy, the Jets are going to be tough, the Pats are going to be tough, but my Dolphins are now the number 1 contenders for you guys because those are tough games. And 8 points is not a lot to split. So you got to make sure you take care of us, and we can get after the quarterback among many other teams in this division and that you're going to play. And this is not the formula for success. So good news is McDermott and Allen look to be clear, but this is going to have to come through the philosophy shift. I do believe this draft is going to have some blockers. I do believe Dorsey, and spurred by McDermott, who's probably spurred by Bean, to get this run game going. Pass balanced, not run heavy, guys. I've been saying it for 3 years, and for Allen's sake and for your sake, I do hope that this is the season for you. I hope for my Dolphins' sake it's not, because it really makes it easier for us to beat you. So it could be very interesting to see what happens in this draft coming up. We're not going to really know the preseason until scrimmages and obviously the first game. But I do believe there will be a philosophy shift, and there's got to be, or else it's time to clean house with the staff and get somebody in here who has half a brain, who could take this guy's super talent and get him to where he needs to go. So good news, guys. Good luck in the draft coming up. And I will be with Tommy over at Mafia Sports Report, probably talking a lot of Bills, but I'll be trying to force the Dolphins in there and stuff like that during the draft. So, guys, be well. I appreciate all you do for this channel, and I hope the best for your team. You're a long sufferer like me, so I hate to see that. I mean, of course, I don't want you take for my Dolphins. Hopefully we win this year, and then maybe next year you guys can win. Anyway, Curtis saying thanks for staying to the end. Please comment, like, comment, and subscribe. Catch you next time. Be well. See you soon. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.